Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you students this day? And I hope that you're excited about this lesson. This is your teacher Hakim Sakran speaking. Today we will be continuing yesterday's lesson, form, meaning and function. But before we do that, let's revise what we took yesterday. So yesterday we took used to and would. And we focused what verbs do they come with. Used to and would. And remember, they're talking about the past. Used to and would, they're always talking about the past. So we took that used to comes with habits and states. On the other hand, would only with habits. Used to with habits and states. On the other hand, would only comes with habits. Let's take some examples just to refresh your memory. My father jog every weekend. My father jog every weekend. The verb jog, is it a habit or a state? Should we just put used to or put them both? Yes, you can use used to or would because the verb jog is a habit. My father used to or would jog every weekend. Second example, there's a restaurant, this restaurant, be nice. Be nice. Be, is it an action or is it a state? Yes, of course, it's a state, so we can just put used to. The third one, is this correct? Okay, where's the mistake? Can you tell the mistake? Very good. The mistake is, and the correction is, I used to study. Study. So the mistake was studying because, as we said before, the base form only comes after used to or would. The type of verb or the form of the verb is base form. We don't put ing, ed, no. So let's move to today's lesson. This is the page that we're going to take today. There is, there are, and we'll be talking about the plurals and then the definite article the. So let's begin with there is, there are. Before we begin, what do they mean? When I say there's something, there are something. For example, when I say there's a car, what does it mean? When I tell you this information, there is a car. Of course, it means that it's there. It exists. You can see it. It's there. It exists. I'm telling you that there is a car in front of you, behind you. There are cars maybe. So it means that it's there. It exists. So today's lesson is there is, there are. Can you tell the difference between them is and are? You can tell the difference between them. One of them is with the plural and the other one is with a singular. Can you tell which is which? Very good. So there is, of course, from the helping verb is, you know that it comes with a singular, and there are comes with plural. Again, there is singular and there are is plural. Let's take some examples. Can you give me some examples before I write them on the board? Can you give me some examples? Maybe one just. Yes, that's great. The first one, you say, there's a bee in the car. There is a bee in the car. I'm telling you, it's there. It exists. In my car, in your car, there's a bee. I'm telling you this information. There's a bee in the car. Maybe open the windows or stop the car or try whatever just to get rid of the bee. Can you give me example on there are, the plural? Very good. There are a few packages for you. They arrived by shipment. There are a few packages for you. Packages is plural, so I used there are. Before we move on, I want to tell you a very important information about contractions. There is, you can write it theirs. You can merge it. there and is, you can mix them, you can merge them. There is. For example, when you say there is a bee, you can say there's a bee, there's a man, there's a car. When it's singular, there is, you can merge them. It's okay. But what about there are? There are. Can you merge them? Try to merge them. Try to saying it. Try to say it. There are. There is, there's. There's. Try to merge there are. There are. No. So just from the sound of it, you know it's a mistake. So there are doesn't come in the contractions form. You can't say there are. No. So the contractions, only there is. You can say there's, but there are, no. It doesn't go this way. Moving on. The plurals. The plurals. You know, there's a singular and a plural. So we'll be talking about the plurals. We have two kinds of plurals. The regular nouns and the irregular nouns. The regular nouns and the irregular nouns. So let's talk about first about the regular nouns, how to write them. The first one, for most regular nouns, we add s. We add the letter s to form the plural. Of course, you've learned before that any singular noun and you want to make it plural, for most of the nouns, you add the letter s. So, for most of regular nouns, we add s to form the plural. If the noun ends in s, ch, cha, sh, sha, o, or x. If the noun, again, ends in these sounds, sa, or cha, sha, or o, or the letter x, we add e. So it becomes es. Let's take some examples. The word letter and card and email, so they're ending with r, d, and l. R, d, and l. So we only add s. Letter becomes letters. Card becomes cards, and email becomes emails. So this is pretty easy. Letter, letters, card, cards, email, emails. Let's move on to the next group. Inbox. Inbox. It finishes with the letter X, as we took here, as we learned here. If it finishes with the letter X, it becomes inboxes. It becomes inboxes. We add es. If it ends with an X, we add es. Inbox, inboxes. Why do we do that? Before we move on, why do we do that? Try to add just the letter X, to the word inbox. No E. You will be saying inboxes like that. So that's why we added, or the English language added es to make it easier for you to pronounce. Boxes, inboxes, like that. Another one is business. Business. It becomes business. It ends with an S, double S actually. So we say businesses. Businesses. Try to say it without an E. It will become business, a long S. So that's why we added es to say business, businesses, to make it easier to pronounce. The last one is watch. Watch. So watch becomes watches. Watch becomes, here, watch becomes watches. Is. Try to pronounce the is. Watch, watches. Don't say watches. No, pronounce the little e. Watches. So these are the first group of the regular nouns. The second one, for regular nouns that end with a y. For the regular nouns that end in y, we usually do what? Drop the y and add IES for the plural. We drop the Y. For example, here, city, it becomes cities, IES. So we dropped the Y and added this IES. Another example is company. Company, this is the Y. What did we do? We dropped the Y and added IES, same as story. Here's the Y. We dropped the Y and added IES. So again, we drop the Y and add IES. There's another case for the Y. Let's learn it. If the noun has a vowel before the Y, the final Y, we only add S. This is a note, pay attention. If the noun ends with a Y, and before the Y there's a vowel, like here, boy, or like the noun toy, day, key. If there's a vowel before the Y, for example, here's the Y, the letter Y, and what's before it? The vowel O. The vowel O. So we just add S. We don't drop the Y. We don't put IES. No, we just add an S. The second word is day. The vowel before it is A. So we say days. We only added an S. And the last one is key. Key. This is the Y. And before it is the E vowel. So we just added an S for the word keys. So the Y, we have two cases. If the letter before it is a vowel or a consonant. If it's a consonant, we drop the Y and write IES. If it's a vowel, we only add S. Moving on, for regular nouns that end in F or FE, we change the ending to VES. If the noun ends with the pronunciation F, the letter F or FE, the pronunciation itself, F, we change it to VES. Here's an example. Leaf. Leaf. The plural is leaves. So the F is gone and it's VES. Or wife. This is an FE, like here. Wife, the plural is wives. We dropped the FE and added VES. And life, also FE here. Life, and we dropped the FE, we added VES. Can you give me an example for the letter F? A noun ending with the letter F, something you use to cut apples and oranges. Yes, the word knife. If you have one, it's knife. But if you have two or three, they are knives. Very good. Very good. So moving on to the irregular nouns. Irregular. What does it mean, irregular? It means they don't have any certain pattern. They are irregular. They don't have rules. So the first one is man. Man. We don't add S. We don't drop anything. We change the whole word to men. Men. Also the word deer. We don't change it at all. Even if there's no change at all, it's still irregular. It doesn't follow the rules for the regular nouns. Man, men. So the irregular nouns, they have two ways. Whether they change completely or they don't change at all. Man, men. Deer. Deer. So if you have one, it's deer. If you have several or a group or a herd, they are deer. For example, the word child. Child. We don't say childs. No, we say children. Children. Also, the noun foot becomes feet. We changed it completely. Woman, a woman becomes women. Tooth becomes teeth. They are changed completely. Mouse, mice. And here it's fish, fish. It's same as deer. One fish, two fish, three fish. So the plural and the singular form, they are the same. Okay, moving on to the next part of the lesson, the definite article the. The definite article the. We use the definite article the before singular and plural nouns when we know what or who we are referring to. I want you to pay extra attention to this word. We know. We know. So we use the article the when we know who is this man, when we know what or who we are referring to, when we know. So for example, if you say the man is at the door, or you say a man is at the door. When you say the man, it means that you know who is this man. Maybe you ordered a delivery or something, so you already know who is this man. But when I say a man is at the door, it could be anyone. You don't know. So this is the key word here, knowing what or who we are talking about, we are referring to. This is the main use of the definite article the. Let's move. We use the definite article the. This is another use. We use the definite article the before singular and plural nouns when we know what or who we are referring to. This is an example. The children at the local school got some new computers. The children, are they just random children? Or are we specific about a group of children? Yes, we are specific. We know who are we talking about. The children at the local school got some new computers. So this is the keyword, as I said, that we know. We know. Another use here, we use the definite article the for objects that are one of a kind. What does it mean, one of a kind? It means there's only one. There's no second. Only one. Let's have some examples. When you say the internet, you say the internet is down. Is there another internet? No, it's only one. The internet. The sun. When you say the sun is rising, is there another sun? No, we have only one sun. So if it's unique, if it's one of a kind, you address it with the. The Masmak fortress. The Masmak fortress. There's only one Masmak fortress. The Holy Quran. The Holy Quran. We know there's only one Holy Quran, so we say the. Like we name the oceans. The Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. There's only one Indian Ocean. There's no other Indian Ocean. So if it's one of a kind, you address it with the. If it's unique, one of a kind, there's no other one like it. If it's the sun, the moon, all the same. So let's take some exercise. Here we have a picture, maybe at a cafe. People are communicating with each other. Let's read the question. Look at the picture. Write sentences to describe the different ways people communicate. Compare with a partner. Again, look at the picture. Write sentences to describe the different ways. I want you to focus on the picture and describe the different ways people are communicating. Compare with a partner. So the first one is done. The first one is done. There's a man writing an email on a computer. This is him. I put a red circle on him. There's a man writing an email on a computer. So I want you to look at this picture and try to figure out 2 or 3 more people who are communicating. I want you to focus and give me 2 or 3 examples. Give me the first one. Okay, very good. The first one is, there's a man watching the news on TV. You can see him, another red circle. There's a man watching the news on TV. So here he is communicating with the TV. He's watching news. And the second one, where's the second one in this picture? Very good. There's a man speaking on a cell phone. And pay attention to what we're writing. There is a man. There is a man. There's a man. So again, there's a man speaking on a cell phone. Here at the top of the picture, we can see him. So he's communicating with his friend via his telephone. And the next one is, I think we have two left. Can you figure them out? Yes. There are two men chatting upon personal news. They are eating lunch. So here we can see them. There are two men who are eating lunch and, you know, having a conversation with each other. So this is communicating. Again, and we wrote there are because this is plural. There are, not there is. There are two men chatting up on personal news. They are eating lunch. And the last one, can you figure out the last one is? Yes, the last one is, there are two men reading some magazines. We can see them here. So they are reading some magazines, trying to communicate with the magazine, reading the information, the news, the ads maybe. So these are all of the communication we can see in this picture. The man watching the TV, the man on his laptop, writing an email, the man on the phone, the two people who are eating and having a conversation, and the two people on the bottom who are reading some magazines. Thank you very much. This is it for today. See you next lesson, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.